Okay, so you want to own a golf course. Buy a stretch of rolling land, shape 18 holes into it, build a clubhouse with a wraparound porch, and open the gates. Green fees come in on weekdays. Members write checks every January. You host the member guest once a year. Somebody makes a toast on the 18th green, and for one afternoon, you're the person who owns the most beautiful 300 acres in the county. Rounds get played, carts get rented. The bar does a brisk business every Sunday after church. Somewhere down the line, a developer offers you a number for the land that makes you laugh, and you turn it down, because you didn't build this to flip it. You built it to run it, forever, the way the old money clubs seem to. It sounds like real estate with a hobby attached, an asset that pays you to enjoy it while quietly appreciating underneath you. It isn't. The picture in your head is a golf course. The thing you'd actually own is something else entirely. Let's start with what you think you're buying. You think you're buying a golf business. Tee times, carts, a pro shop, a kitchen doing Sunday brunch. You're not. You're buying a piece of land with a standing obligation stapled to it. An obligation to spend, every single year, whether anyone plays around or not, just to keep the property from reverting to scrub. The grass does not care whether you had a good season. It grows on schedule either way, has to be cut on schedule either way, and the irrigation heads fire on schedule either way, at 4 in the morning, long before your first customer has poured coffee. A restaurant can close on Mondays and lock the door. A golf course cannot close on maintenance, not for a week, not for a season, without the asset itself starting to die. Hold on to that, because every trap in this business is a version of it. You are not managing a product. You are servicing a debt owed to biology. And biology does not negotiate. Start with getting one built in the first place, because that's the first filter. And it quietly removes almost everyone before they've spent $1 on a golf ball. A full 18-hole build, land, earth moving, drainage, irrigation, grow-in, clubhouse, typically runs $8 to $15 million for a decent public course. And $20 to $60 million or more for a high-end private or resort facility, before you've sold a single membership, before you've collected a single green fee. Most land isn't flat, isn't zoned, doesn't carry water rights. You need 120 to 200 contiguous acres in a jurisdiction that will actually permit a golf course, which increasingly means environmental review over wetlands, chemical runoff, and protected species. Then you need water. Not water in the abstract. A legal, permitted, senior enough water, right to irrigate well over 100 acres of turf every summer, for the rest of the course's life. In some Western states, the water right and the land title are transacted almost as two separate assets, appraised separately, financed separately. And a buyer who assumes the water simply comes with the land has usually not read the deed closely enough. In parts of the arid West, clubs have discovered, sometimes the hard way, that their water allocation is worth more than the fairways it feeds. Construction runs 18 to 36 months. Then the turf needs 6 months to over a year to establish, before it can safely take a cart. From land close to first green fee, 2 to 4 years, sometimes longer, producing nothing but bills. You are assembling land, water, permission, and patience. 4 things that don't naturally arrive as a package. And paying full price for all 4, before the course has grown a single green. Say you clear all of that. Now you own something that grows every single day, whether or not it's making you money. And the bill for that growth is the maintenance budget, where this business actually lives or dies. The nationwide average for an 18-hole course sits near $1 million a year, with many private clubs spending $1 to $2 million annually. Labor alone eats 55 to 57% of that. A superintendent, a crew of 12 to 25 groundskeepers, starting before dawn. Fertilizer and fungicide run $50,000 to $90,000 a year on a $1 million budget. Equipment, mowers, aerators, sprayers, needs constant repair. Another 10 to 12% of the budget. None of it is optional. A roof you can patch next spring. A green you let go, brown in August, comes back in 2 or 3 years, if at all. And by then, you've lost the membership renewals that would have paid to fix it sooner. The maintenance budget isn't a target you hit in good years and shave in bad ones. It's a floor. Miss it, and you're spending down the asset itself. One dead patch of fairway at a time. Every decade or so, a serious club faces a renovation cycle, regrassing greens, rebuilding bunkers, replacing aging irrigation. A full bunker renovation can run $400,000 to $1.5 million or more. A green-by-green rebuild across 18 holes climbs into the multi-million-dollar range. Clubs either save toward it in a capital fund, charging members more than current year maintenance requires, or they defer it, which means the course visibly ages while dues stay flat. There is no version of this business where you pay once and the condition holds. The course is a physical object in continuous expensive repair, and the calendar for that repair does not ask your permission. Layer insurance on top of that, general liability, property coverage, and increasingly, in wildfire or flood-exposed regions, coverage that's gotten harder to secure, a club on water, or backing onto homes whose owners get hit by errant tee shots, carries liability exposure, and office building doesn't. None of this is the number that gets talked about when someone tells you what a golf course is worth. It's the number that gets discovered the first year a claim comes in. So where does that budget come from? Mostly from members. And this is where the business stops being golf and starts being a subscription service with a fairway attached. A private club today has a median initiation fee around $50,000, up 72% from $29,000 just 3 years earlier, plus annual dues of $8,000 to $20,000. Sometimes more at marquee clubs. At the very top, Liberty National in New Jersey charges $450,000 to $500,000 just to join. That money isn't buying access to 18 holes. It's buying a proportional share of a fixed maintenance obligation, priced as a luxury good. But functionally, rent on the grass. The club needs a specific number of those shares renewed every year, because the maintenance budget doesn't shrink when membership does. A club with 300 members and a club with 200 members are mowing the same 150 acres, watering the same greens, running the same crew. Every private club is running a subscription business with a fixed cost base and a membership floor it cannot fall below. That's why waitlists at popular clubs have roughly doubled since the pandemic, and why a club that loses its waitlist doesn't have a golf problem. It has a maintenance budget problem, wearing a golf costume. At a typical private club, members play 19,000 to 20,000 rounds a year, and maintenance spend works out to $54 to $62 per round, or $3,300 to $3,400 per member annually, before cart fees or lunch. That's not what golf costs. That's what the grass costs, divided up and billed to the people standing on it. The golf itself is essentially free, once you've paid to keep the turf alive. You are not buying rounds. You are buying a proportional share of an agronomy operation. Now, water. An average American course applies about 312,000 gallons a day during the growing season, roughly 78 million gallons a year. In the arid Southwest, a single course can use well north of 1 million gallons in one day. That number isn't simply a cost. In drought years, it becomes a permit. And permits get revoked or rationed by people who don't work for you. Municipalities have moved to cap or cut golf irrigation before touching residential taps, because turf reads as a luxury use next to drinking water. A course that's healthy financially can still be told it gets 30% less water this July than last July. You can plan for a bad season on the books. You cannot plan around someone else deciding how much of your product you're allowed to manufacture. Courses along coastlines or riverbanks carry flood and erosion risk, intensified with every storm season. A course that loses a fairway to erosion gets it back with an engineering study, a permit, and another 6-figure check. Courses on former wetlands or near protected habitat can face restrictions on pesticides, mowing, or which holes can be played during nesting season. None of this appears on the glossy brochure. It appears in the county's environmental file, which a serious buyer actually reads. Here's what almost nobody explains before you buy: how the land gets valued for tax purposes. Golf courses sit on land that, at highest and best use, would often be worth vastly more as housing or retail than as fairways, giving operators incentive to argue the land is worth as little as possible, until the day they sell. When the argument flips, some use ordinary assessment appeals. Others use agricultural or farmland assessment programs. Trump National Golf Club in Bedminster, New Jersey, for years enrolled over 100 acres kept in hay, plus a parcel grazed by goats. Under New Jersey's Farmland Assessment Act, township filings in the late 2010s estimated savings around $88,000 a year, with later analyses suggesting even more. None of this is illegal, but it illustrates the point. The number your course is worth for tax purposes has almost nothing to do with what it would sell for, and running one well means managing that gap on paper every year, forever. Underneath it all sits the land trap. The real reason golf courses keep disappearing, even when golf is thriving. The National Golf Foundation summed it up. Sometimes the dirt is worth more than the grass. Since 2006, the U.S. has lost roughly 2,200 18-hole equivalent courses, about 13% of the national supply, even as rounds played climbed and boomed after 2020. Closures slowed to under 90 in 2023, the lowest since 2004. But the mechanism hasn't changed. A developer looks at 150 acres throwing off a low single-digit margin and realizes the same land, rezoned for housing, is worth multiples as raw dirt. The moment that gap widens, the golf business isn't competing with the club down the road. It's competing with its own land. And the land usually wins. It doesn't need a superintendent, an irrigation permit, or 300 renewing members. It just needs a rezoning and a receptive council. At the very top, Pebble Beach, one of the few courses with genuine trophy status, changed hands for $820 million in 1999 and traded again in 2020 for around or above $800 million. That's not a golf course price. That's a media, real estate, and scarcity price, achieved by perhaps a dozen properties in the country. Everyone else runs the same cost structure, 55 to 57% labor, the same water bill, the same bunker rebuilds, without trophy premiums, competing in a market of thousands of ordinary courses that trade for what their cash flow, or their dirt, can support. Say membership holds, water keeps flowing, and you decide to sell. This is where a golf course behaves nothing like a house, or stock. The buyer pool is small, split between parties valuing different things. Golf operators and private equity-backed consolidators price off cash flow and membership, what it earned as a course. These platforms exist because single owners rarely have the balance sheet to absorb a bad water year, a renovation year, and a membership year, back to back. But a platform with hundreds of clubs can smooth that volatility. Selling to them is often the realistic exit, not the best price. But one of the only buyers pricing it as a going concern. Developers price off entitlements and zoning, not last year's maintenance. Those numbers can sit worlds apart. And a course caught in between can take years to move, while you keep paying $1 million plus a year to keep it playable and sellable. Every year without a deal is another year of maintenance attached to no return. Notice who gets paid on schedule versus who's making a standing bet. The superintendent and crew get paid whether the club turned a profit. Equipment lessors get paid. Fertilizer and fungicide suppliers get paid. If there's debt, the lender gets paid first, secured against land that may not be worth the appraisal. The USGA or state association collects fees if you want weighted tournaments. Every one of those parties gets paid on the course simply existing, win or lose. The owner gets paid last, if at all, out of whatever's left after 55 to 57% went to labor and the rest to water, chemicals, and equipment. That residual can sit at zero for years, while every vendor has been made whole. So where does that leave you if you still want to do this? Owning two assets stapled together and marketed as one. The golf business. Thin margins, seasonal, a subscription model dressed as a hobby, hostage to water allocations, and decade-long bunker rebuilds. And the land underneath. Worth more doing something else. Across most of the country. As long as the gap between what the course earns and what the land could earn stays small, you have a golf course. The moment it widens, you don't have a golf business. You have an expensive, well-manicured way of holding real estate. And every dollar spent keeping fairways perfect was rent, paid year after year, to delay admitting that's what it was. The members photograph the sunset from the 18th green. The superintendent keeps the greens at 11 on the stimp meter. And underneath, the land keeps doing arithmetic nobody put on the scorecard. waiting for the year the answer stops being golf.